Doctori, tutto a posto? Welcome back to a new episode of Sane C++ Libraries. That is a set of C++ platform abstraction libraries for macOS, Windows, and Linux that focuses on fast compile times, being bloat-free, simple and readable, easy to integrate with no use of the C++ standard library or exceptions and no third-party dependencies. So, that being said, I was pretty satisfied with how things have been going. Some libraries have been getting upgraded to, the stable or the whatever is the minimum viable product type of level. These are all levels, the usable level. But there was one that is the HTTP library that was really deserving some love, actually also the threading. Need some love, but we have to start from somewhere, so I guess I will start from the HTTP one. I have been doing a bunch of work lately to try improving a little bit how this HTTP library is working. It's still in draft state, but today I wanted to try adding something relatively simple, but that should at least allow to figure out if things that have been added so far are kind of working. And the things I want to add is an HTTP web server. So let's have a look at what we have. There is this HTTP server class that has been just 15 minutes ago improved by hiding some implementation details. And it's made of an HTTP server class that has a start, a stop. Actually, there is an error here. Yes, that has a start. It has a stop. Asynchronous. We are talking about an asynchronous HTTP server, which means you have to run an I/O event loop on whatever thread you feel like it's a good idea to run an event loop, probably the main thread. And you can stop it, and you can ask for being told when there is a new request with this onRequest event, and get a request and get a response, and eventually also get the actual socket that is being used. This is using the HTTP parser class that has a very, very simple HTTP parser. It's not complete, it's not bulletproof, but just like everything in this library, it's a start. And then you have HTTP request and response objects, which request contains the URL and eventually the headers that have been sent from the client. And the response allows you to write and end the response. Actually, I need to implement the write. I don't know why I have the header declaration here, but I guess there is no implementation. Nevertheless, let's go ahead and try to create this web, how do we call it? HTTP WebServer.h. And we can make it also on HttpWebServer.cpp. And we can add the test. New file, HttpWebServerTest.cpp. We can have our beautiful project generation build system, scbuild, to generate things for us, such that here we should be able to see the newly created files. And I can, of course, add a little bit of, this kind of stuff, which is just a copyright. And I definitely need to include the HTTP server. Let's have a look at how the server works a little bit, just to refresh the memory. I mean, the test is quite... there's not a lot of stuff, but definitely more than you would expect in a minimal example. But anyway, you create a server, you start it on an event loop that of course must somehow exist. You can check how many connections it needs to support concurrently, and also specify which interface you want to bind to, and eventually a port. You have this onRequest where you have an event that gets called with a request to response, and you can read the request and write things to the response. Yeah, the test is also using the HTTP client class, which is also very in the very initial stages to make the requests. So, well, maybe let's copy this a little bit. So I have something to customize. So instead of server test, let's say web server test, HTTP web server. And this is our web server test, and we can add it to the is it SC test? Yeah. Where is HTTP server test? Yeah, void run HTTP web server test with the test report, of course. And I also need to add it here such that it will get called web server test. Now I do my usual, if global console, I want to just be executing the run HTTP web server test with the report. All right. I had the cursor in multiple places. Now, where's the test? This is the test. What do we want to do in the test? In the test, I definitely want, well, I don't need the, do I need the client? Yes, I probably need the client, not so many clients. I need to create the server, I need to create, well, let's first maybe draft the class a little bit so we can make it namespace sc struct http web server struct sc http web server, and we have a result, maybe, well, not star, I would call it init, taking a string view, should be just a, yeah, initial directory, or web serving directory, which can be, yeah, we can store here directory, and then we definitely want to have stop async. Well, this will not be doing any async operation for now, but just, yeah, it will have in the future. So let's start it in the correct way. Then we want to have a result like serveFile, something like that, with the HTTP request and the response. Yeah, this looks good. It does compile. Oh, I'm not including this anywhere, so it's not compiling anything. So I need to include HTTP web server, expected, semicolon. All right. Now, I need to create the class HTTP web server. HTTP, well, let's say web server. I want to initialize it after web server dot init. Web serving directory, can we use like a report dot application root directory? Yeah, we need to write some HTML file over there, so let's do file system, which we don't have, so we're going to be adding it. So file system dot file system, actually slash file system fs dot init report application root directory. Initialize the file system. So the initialize calling file system is making all of file system operations relative to that directory to get rid of depending on, current directory, which is something I always, Well, if you want to depend on the current directory, you can pass the current directory here, but I don't want to, the API to behave like that by default. Now, I can fs write string test.html. Let's create a very basic HTML file. HTML body tag, I don't know, something read from file or reading from file. Yeah, reading from file. And we can just check if this is possible to do. And before returning, we also have to delete it. Fs remove file test.html. Let's expect this. We don't need 3 clients. I don't even need to probably, track the number of, well, I could, why not? Track the number of requests. I can ask for, I want to be using a different port. Let's do 8090 so I can remember it. And we can say test.html. What do I need this buffer for? To format the name. Oh, I don't care about this. And so this is the client that is requesting in the test this file, just like a browser would do. Of course, now I have linker errors because I'm not doing anything. So the one thing I would like to do is here, I need to be grabbing the HTTP web server, and adding the web server here. And I can say WebServer dot serveFile request response. So this web server object will be fully responsible to serve the file. Cannot be implicitly captured because I have it in the context object. All right. Now I need to be implementing all of these methods. So let's include HTTP web server, and I can define all of these methods. So this will be sc result, and we make it an HTTP web server, class. And it will not be doing much other than, just assigning the web serving directory. Maybe we can, you know what? Yeah, let's do like this. Return result true. File system, include file system, and we can try to get the file system exists and its directory with the web serving directory. So if you don't init the file system, you can still use absolute paths. If not, I think it should be erroring out on relative paths if you don't init. I hope it does, otherwise I should fix it. But yeah, so we at least return true if the directory you are telling me to serve does not exist, which may or may not be the most correct thing to do. But yeah, for now I think it's good. And let's return a true result here because we don't have any async object. So how do we implement this serve file? Let's maybe create an internal class, internal, and I can do struct c HTTP web server internal. this internal, yeah, this is just where I'm hiding some implementation detail. So I can say read file, for example, with the directory, and the request response objects. And then I can say if not internal read file, so whatever it happens, if that returns error, request response, I will return start response 404 and not found. Yeah. And we will be returning result true because, yeah, we don't want to be passed. Actually, we could make this just void at this point. Yeah, why not? Here we should, of course, ignore the errors. Not much we can do. Or maybe, yeah, so let's make it return an error, and at least we can, yeah, we can chain these errors. Why not? And we simply return true here. Return type does not, yeah, it's wrong because it's not void anymore, it's result. So this is good. Now, read file. How do we implement a read file? Let's create a file system. File system, we initialize with the directory. And if fs, yeah, we have to extract the file from the request. So request as a URL, I think we need to get, yes, the get URL. If, I think it starts with the slash, because, yeah, that's how it is done in the HTTP. When you create a GET request and request something, the parsing will include the // that is separating the host from the URL. Yeah, the URL includes, I mean, we can double check. I think I remember pretty clearly, but do we have a test saying this? Client test, no, parser test. Where is it? Is it in the HTTP parser documentation? Well, we'll figure it out. I remember that it's like that, but if it's not, we will fix it. Well, then let's say it is not, and then we'll fix it. So I need to compose a path, so I can make a small string to 55. I'm going to say path, which we don't have. We have to compose a path from the directory. So we can join in the buffer. Can you see that this accepts a string, and we can use a small string? That's, you know, one of the features of the small string. It can be used anywhere a string it's used. So buffer inputs will be directory and URL. If now fs exists and its file URL, actually we don't need to compose the path. This is done by fs. We can read the file at URL into this vector of char. Pretty simple. So vector of char data, and we try to read it. Once we have it, we can say response dot end data to span const, right? and here we can return result true. Now, I guess we have to send a series of headers, which I think should also be in the server test. Yeah. Let's copy all of them. We have to send them. So connection closed. Okay. Server SC, why not? This ones must be dynamically generated depending on the file. Content type, yes, this is the tag identifying the type of the file, and this depends on the extension. So we need to parse, is it the parse name extension? So URL, we can say name, so string view name extension. Name extension. It's so cool that all of these operations are not allocating anything. They're just manipulating string views, which are views over characters array, so they're never allocating anything. So maybe we should be adding get content type string view extension. So if extension is, I can't remember if there is dot or not, but anyway, or if extension is HTML or HTML, we can return this. And I guess that could be also our default. Maybe let's add if extension is PNG. Is it like image PNG? We'll figure it out. Or JPG. Can't remember if it's, yeah, let's look for it. JPEG content type. Image JPEG. Okay. Or JPEG, it's image JPEG. I guess this will be okay for now. So I need to say get content type. No, it's not content type. It's content type, which needs to be a static function. And this is done. How do I generate this? I need to take the get file stat. So we need to get the stats for the file, which is like the last modified time, the size of the file. All of these are, synchronous operations. So, this is now becoming a hybrid of a async web server, because the HTTP server is implemented as an async web server, but here we are reading files synchronously, so it's kind of a hybrid. I guess for a first implementation, that's all right. There is really a lot of things still to do in making this web server even decent. It's not even decent. So let's start with something simple, with very simple synchronous code. And then I guess I will improve the classes and try to bring it to become actually asynchronous. So the file is our URL. And we have the file stat, which is file system, file stat. So file stat should have the modified time, okay? I've been searching earlier, the dates needs to be formatted as UTC, I think, file. So HTTP dates, format. Yeah, it needs to be a UTC string. So it's day name, day month, year, hour. Well, let's copy it. So I need to parse it as a UTC. Yeah, file system parse. What is? No, this is a time absolute parse result. Let's make it. Yeah, let's make it parse the time. So parse result has year, months, all of the fields we need, including the name of the day and month in English, of course. This is all hard-coded. No, is it? No, it's using STFR time. I actually changed it. Yes, correct. So it should be localized depending on whatever C locale is active, which is not super good. I guess I need to improve it, but for now this is going fine. So day name, I need to format this. So let's say static result write UTC or GMT. Date. Yeah. We need to take a parse result as input. And and some buffer. String buffer. So we take a string builder, which is not included here, and we should include it. String builder. So string builder we can format using our fabulous format library. So day name, that's the first. And there's day. So day name is time dot get day. Then there's time dot get. This should be day of month. Then we have time month, time year, time hour, time minutes, and time seconds, right? So month, yeah, we can format it to be, I think there should be two, 2-digit day number, 4-digit for the year, but it's always 4-digit. I mean, we can make it, but also this one should be 2 digits, right? Yeah, it's all 2 digits. So 2 digits and 2 digits. All right. Maybe also this one. No. I'm getting lost. Oh, yeah, let's make it bool. All right. Yeah, I like this. So I can have a buffer. Date and write GMT date, local date. Maybe I can call it format. Format time as GMT. I'm terrible at naming things while I'm coding. I always rename them later. Because when I'm in the flow, I don't really want to spend so much time thinking about how to name it. It's always more of something that I can figure it out after, because I'm not 100% sure about what a function or a class should be doing. So here I can send the date.view. So this should be the current date, and then we have the last modified one. So, okay, let's send yes, let's do like this. And let's do time absolute now parse UTC. Okay, because date needs to be current date. It doesn't need to be the current date. I can't remember what is the date header doing. Contains date at time at which the message originated. Okay. Well, I guess I'm originating it now, so it should be now. Yeah, this looks decent. And now I need to write, yeah, this needs to go at the very end. Yeah, we can try this. So let's first try it with the unit test. So the unit test is writing this file. Let's see. So we are here. We should have this file created somewhere in the outputs. Okay, reading from file. Perfect. Now we are starting, and we should be getting a request here. Beautiful. So this means this code has been able to create a request. So we are in the serveFile, which brings us into the read file. So what is the directory? That's correct. Let's see the request. Oh yes, that's exactly what I was remembering. So we have to remove the trailing, yeah, slice start one. We have to remove the trailing, sorry, the leading slash, but only if it starts with the slash, I suppose. So if URL starts with this one, we'll remove it. I guess also if URL is empty, we can make it like go to index.html, right? This is very typical thing to do in web servers. All right, let's place ourselves here. Let me remove all of the breakpoints, placing myself here. Now URL is just test.html. The file does exist. We can read it. We can close the connection. We can parse the namer and the extension. The extension is HTML, so we should be getting the correct content type. We are getting the file statistics that is giving us file size and modified time. Oh, maybe I should be creating a custom visualizer for the times. Yeah, that would be good. A debug visualizer. Good idea for someone if someone wants to do that. So I'm parsing UTC, and let's see if this is getting format properly. So Friday 9 get day. Oh, this one needs to be 02 as well. Otherwise, we will be out of spec. Yeah, the spec says we need to make this 2-digit day number. Let's do it again. Date is it 09/07 2024 at yeah, this is the UTC time. It's not my local time, but it looks correct. Yeah, this looks correct. We do the same with the modified time. So this is the last time that file has been modified, which should be different from, well, maybe not. Yeah, it's not different because we are creating the file just before arriving here. So I guess they are not that different. Oh, but they should be a little bit different. I mean, if I place myself here, now the file has already been modified, so they should have at least a couple of seconds of difference. So date. Okay. Yeah, they're different. They're different. Okay, and then I can write everything to the end. Oh, of course, I need to change the string. So the string, the response file should create reading from file. So let's do this again. Looks like we are able to execute things here, and this is now blocking in the run of the event loop because we are not stopping down. So that's what happens when you don't stop the event loop. And to stop the event loop, I need to stop everything that it's inside, which in this case is just this socket listening from the server. So by stopping it, I should be able to make it work. Yeah, I don't need all of these. And even this one. Yeah, we can simplify this. Let me just make it server, grabbing the server. Yes, the test works. So we are able to serve this thing from file. Let's also see if the file got removed. Yes, the file got removed. It was here. All right, now, well, that is amazing. Yeah, we have to change this snippet, but I will take care of this when this becomes actually something that will go in the documentation. Now, what I would like to do is to create an SC example. So let's go into the examples and let's make this WebServerExample folder where I'm creating now WebServerExample.cpp. Let me regenerate the projects. Can I just start with this one and edit and change things? Well, there is a lot here that we don't need, definitely. But yeah, let me try to open that project. SC example, web server example. Yeah, so we definitely don't need all of this stuff. Instead of serialization example, we want to call it web server example. I guess we can remove this entire draw canvas, show JSON. I mean, the draw can be empty. We need to fill it. We don't need this JSON serialization path. So we don't need all of this stuff here. We don't need to load JSON, load binary from file. Maybe we can keep this for the hot reload. Yes, why not? Let's remove this. Yeah, let's remove all of them. And let's remove this, and let's remove all of this stuff. Why can't I? Oh, there is no. Why it doesn't match? Matches word. No, I need the contains. Okay. So we can make this. I hate when I lose the selection in multiple cursor modes. WebServerExample. WebServerExample model. Unused parameter builder. Oh, okay, yes, we need to do something like bool dummy for now, because you still need to have at least a single field serialized. Oh, I could be making this to be. Can I fix it like this? Yeah. And model, yes. Okay, this compiles at least. Beautiful. I clearly don't need all of this stuff. And the symbol is called web server and has a different description. To do field. Let's say to do field web server description. I don't think we need all of these read version and so on. We don't need all of this stuff. No, maybe we need the plugin macros, yes. And we don't need process. Maybe let's keep string builder, maybe. Yeah. Okay. Let's try to see if this is at least coming up on screen. And GUI text. Yeah. Let's run it. We have the web server. Yeah, to do fill web server description. We can load it and we can see what's going on. Beautiful. Now, what do I need? I need definitely the string directory. I need the port. And I need the, yeah, I prefer to have explicitly sized types, maximum number of connections. What else can we add here? I don't know. We'll be adding things as we go. A field, refresh struct field. First one will be directory. Then we can make it port, maximum number of connections. Yeah. Let's make it, I don't know, 8. View state, I still don't know what to be adding there, but well, maybe something will come up. So I need to edit the string. Oh yes, I need another string, which is the interface. So directory, interface. Well, I don't care about preserving the order here of the fields because user identifier, yes. I don't care about restoring the state here because it's I'm still not doing anything significant, so I don't really care about matching the order of the fields in order to have the hot reload, preserve the state. Now I have created some helper stuff for ImGUI, which is very, really terrible helper stuff, but at least I'm able now to, I think it's called input text, is it? I'm able to use it for reading a string into, using the input text control from ImGUI to read something into my model.model state.directory. What do I need? I need a buffer. So name buffer string and modify. So name, this will be directory. Buffer, where do we put the buffer? Buffer will be like a transient buffer. We can put it here. I don't think we even want to serialize this. Yeah, so let's give it like that. This will be viewState.buffer. And we have the directory. And I have, let's say this has changed. Let's see, try. Well, let's say void. Oh, I removed the ImGUI. Oh no. Okay. Excellent. We have this directory. Does it even persist? Well, let's also add the interface, which should be 127.0.0.1. Okay. So if I write something here, that's terrible. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? Do I need to initialize the buffer? Oh, I'm writing to the same. Yeah. Okay, this looks better. So maybe I can change things. Yes, and the state is preserved, which is very cool. Now, can I do ImGUI input and port model.model_state.port? Yeah. Ignoring, what am I ignoring? This one. Do I need this one? Oh, it doesn't look like I need it, so yeah. All right. Oh, I need a button. A start and stop button. If ImGUI button stop, maybe on the same line. Okay. So now the model should have an I need to include it first. So libraries, HTTP WebServer. And I need to add, where is it? The model class. So the model class is where you can add all of the non-serializable objects that define the logic of your application. So everything that is not, the state that should be preserved. So definitely, anything that has sockets can go into that category. HTTP web server, I can init this, I need an async event loop. Actually, let me do it. Yeah, I need to do like a start. So I should save the async event loop here, so I can start and stop it even from the GUI. And this means that someone needs to give me this event loop stuff. Result. So let's say we have this event loop. We can say HTTP server, which we need as well. Server dot start on the event loop with max. What's the name? Max concurrent request. Yeah, let's use the same word here. Maximum number of connection. Let's make it max concurrent requests. Model state dot. What is this? This is the interface and the port. Model state dot interface dot port. Port. Yes. Okay. Yeah, there is a need for static cast. uint32. Can I make this uint32? Oh, but then I will need to cast for ImGUI, I guess. Well, that's all right. Let's cast it here. Yeah, because the ImGUI is not able to, I think, does not have an overload for unsigned types. So we have to cast it ourselves. And even the port needs to be cast to uint16. Let's make it a uint16. uint16, and then we need to return result true. Now, who is giving us the event loop? We clearly don't want to create it here. We want to take something that has been created for us and it's managed for us by this GUI application. If you have seen previous videos, we have done a bunch of work about having the hot reload system and all of the other side classes to be able handling this event loop, which is running under the hood. I think we can see it here. There's IO wake up, and when I'm stopping, it's going to pause everything. So I have been adding a few methods here, like called init async and close async, which take an event loop, actually are sending an event loop to one of the example. So we can start using it. So this is init async. So close async. Now we need to define them. So result init async event loop. And close async. In the close async, I want to do model dot, we need a stop method. And in it, we need to do model dot event loop. Yeah, let's pass just the event loop. So now I have my event loop. Yeah, now I have the stop, server dot stop sync. Yeah, why not? Yes, we need to define the types for all of these because this is not in the SC namespace, and I need to do it also for this one. Does it work like this? Unused parameter event loop. Sure. All right. So now we are starting. We need to start in it also the web server with the model state dot directory. So this should make it correct. SC try stopping this, and SC try web server dot stop. Now is it close? Or is it stop? No. Does it have anything like that? Stop async. Okay. So maybe let's make the stop async before. Okay. So the start can do model.start, and the stop can do model.stop. Yeah, I mean, maybe we can add like a bool is started, return server dot is started. So we can maybe enable this. I'm GUI begin disabled model dot is started. Model dot is started and disabled, and the same for the start button reversed. It should be disabled when model is started. Okay, that's the opposite, sorry. Okay, start and stop. So stop now is disabled. Can we start this? Yeah, we need to, maybe let's prevent starting it if it's not bool is, you know, can even start. I don't know how to call it. Return, we need to have a model state dot directory that is, you know, not empty, I guess, and interface. Yeah, that is not empty. Well, I guess we can do a lot more validation, but that's a start. That's a start for start. In disabled, so either model is started or not model can even start. So yeah, this is yeah, not going. Yes, because that's empty. Why? Huh? Why is it this not? Yeah, I don't know. We'll figure out. Maybe that's way too advanced for now to go with these details. Also because the video is already long. Let's try to go to the actual functionality, and I'll take care of this detail maybe a little bit offline. What else do I need? Well, let's use some test websites that I have been preparing. So that's the path of the path that I need to be using. So users test dot not index. I just need the directory. So the big question is, will it work? Start. That's already good. Let's go. So it was 127.0.0.1 8090. And oh, we are crashing. We are just crashing. Why am I crashing? Because the onRequest function. Oh, I forgot the onRequest function. Okay, that's probably something I need to add in the example. Yeah, I'm not forwarding the request into the web server, so I should do server.onRequest. I mean, I could even, let's do it with a lambda HTTP, or maybe not. Does it have the same signature? So the onRequest is an HTTP request and response, and the serveFile, it's the same. Oh, it has the result. That's right. Yeah, let's do just a lambda HTTP request and HTTP response, and we can not return anything. We need to say web server, which we need to capture here by reference. WebServer.serveFile request response, and web server in the capture list does not name. Oh, so we should capture this, right? All right. Will it be better now? So web server, let's copy that folder that we had before. Copy paste without index, start. So we should be able to see this, simple web page, but not from the file, but from our web server here. Let's retry. That's better, but it doesn't look correct. What's going on here? Doesn't look really good. What am I doing wrong? So I think the error is in the HTTP web server. Let's see, what headers are we sending? Are we sending connection close, server SC, get the content tab? Is it the content type correct? Text, HTML, text, HTML, content type. Is it correct? Yeah, you can also specify the char set, but I guess that's correct. So what am I doing wrong? Date, connection close. Why is it showing it like this? Does anybody have an idea? Format time. Am I formatting the headers in some wrong way? They look correct. Content length. Do we need some specific order of the... Do we need some order of these headers? Maybe yes. Let's see, what am I doing in the test? Because I had a test that is working. Connection, content type, and then the other stuff. So content type maybe needs to arrive earlier. Well, let's try it. Where is my SC example? HTTP web server. Let's do the content type first, and then everything else. I should probably copy this string somewhere so I don't need to go here and use it. So users, yeah, let me copy it You know what? Let me copy it into the initial string of the HTTP web server example. Equals like this. So now I can start. Can I? It's not changing much. That's really terrible. Let me reboot the browser just in case there is something cached from the previous run. 127.00.18090. What's wrong? What's wrong? So I'm writing the response. The response is writing the content length. I'm actually getting the correct text. Why is it not interpreting it as an actual HTML file? It's really puzzling to me. Is it because I'm in incognito mode? Uh, 127.0.0.1 8090. No, that's the same. I don't know what's going on. I just don't know what's going on. Let's see, what are we missing? We are writing all of the headers, but something is missing, but it's not a lot of stuff. Let's go one by one. Let's see in the in the test, I have the headers, yes, are the same that I have over there. Oh, the start response. That's embarrassing. Yes, of course, you need to say that this is yes. You need to say that this is a correct HTTP response. So now we have the test folder already mapped. Let me try again. Beautiful. So now the web server is able to serve some files, which is not a lot. These are just a few files, but if I did things correctly now, it should be able to do the same for the more complex website, even if it's still regular website. I think the path is just pagu.github.io. Yeah, that this should be the folder. So I can stop it and start it again. Let's see. We start to see something. This is a local copy of my website. Let's serialize C++ with reflection. My intuition is telling me that we need to be mapping some more content types, because this is clearly missing the CSS. So if I go into the web server here, we need to add the CSS, which be text CSS. That's right. I cannot hot reload that part because it's outside of the sample. Let's see. Yeah, we are getting the CSS. Beautiful. So I think this can conclude. I'm really happy this has been working. I was struggling a little bit figuring out that missing error code, but it was a relatively simple piece of code because I think at the end of the day, we have not been doing much. I mean, the code itself, it's just, reading a file and adding a few headers and writing it back with date and time. But it shows that, even something like this can, serve a small, simple, but, non-trivial website. Maybe there is still something that is crashing. Is it crashing? Where is it? No, it's still running. But why is it not going to the pages? So I guess there is something to debug here, but even being able to show this is really, really a good result for me. And I'm really happy that this is working. So that being said, I hope you enjoyed what I've been showing so far in this video. So leave it a like if you like, and make sure to subscribe, and also visit the GitHub repo for Sane C++ libraries and try to get in touch if you're interested. And see you next time with Sane C++ libraries. Bye.